Okay, so last day we have discussed what? Let me open the notes. Okay, so last day we have seen some example for constraint one, like while creating table, how can we add any constraint in any column, right? So we have added unique, we have added not null, we have added primary key, we have added auto increment. These four constraint into this student table, right? And later we have delete that student table as well, because we have seen that delete query, right? So via delete query we have deleted some particular row as well, whole data as well, and we have dropped that database, drop that table as well. So drop table, how will use that drop table? If you want to delete the table, if you want to delete all the data from that database, we'll use this delete from student. If you want to delete some particular data, some particular row, so we have discussed this student, like in a student id we have added what? We have added that primary key constraint. So this student id is primary key. It means it is unique. Every time they will add some, they will not, you will have to add some unique value. So every time, how you can configure figure out like which value is unique? So for that purpose we have one auto increment, right? So what is the use of auto increment? So auto increment start with 1, and every time they will generate one unique value. Got it? Now we'll see some other constraint as well, right? So we have discussed not null, unique, primary key. So create one blank sheet. Okay. This one. Yeah. So we have discussed this not null, unique, primary key. Now we'll see that other one. So today we'll see this check constraint, right? And we have one more, that is default one. What is the use of this check? What is the use of this default? Right now we'll see what is this check. So this check constraint, so it is used to specify some condition. So if you want to apply some condition to that particular column, when you are creating that table, na, while creating that table, when we are mentioning that column name and their data type, and then we are adding that constraint. In that constraint, if you are trying to use this check, how to use this check and why we'll use this check? So it is used to specify some condition that must be validated in order to insert data into a table. So when you are creating any table and you want to add some validation to that particular column, on that purpose you can use this check constraint. All right, now we'll see. Let me describe you this default one as well. So we'll see that check constraint example and this default constraint example in that same query, right? So if you want to apply some particular validation to that particular column, So you have ID, you have some name, you have some mail ID, you have age, like that, right? So if you want to apply any validation to that column, so inside a one table we have multiple column. If you want to apply any condition, so you will use this check constraint. And now what is the use of this default one? So it is used to set a default value. So when you are creating any table, inside that table you have some column. So in that column you are trying to store some default value. If you will not add any value to that particular column, they will automatically add some default value. Got it? So for that purpose we will use this default constraint, right? So if we are trying to insert an empty value in a column, right? That time what they will do, they will add default value into that if you have added your default constraint. All right, now we'll see their example via query. Okay, so first we will create one table with these check and default constraint. All right, so let me delete this employee one, which will create this employee table again. So will you do what? We'll click to this table, create table. Now employee. Got it? Now we'll create one column here. So employee ID. As I said earlier, when we are creating table, it is we need to give some unique value. We need to add some table that contains some unique value. So to specify, like we have thousands of records, how to validate whether which rows is unique one? So we have to add some unique value into that. So always try to add one primary key in your table. So one table contain only one primary key, not more than one. So if you are creating table, so here I have added this one column name employee ID. This employee ID. So for example, if you are working in any company, like you are working in Google. So Google, like in Google we have multiple employees. For example, thousand employees. All thousand employee ID is unique. Got it? So that's why we will give this employee ID with which constraint? Primary key constraint. Okay, and we'll add this auto increment as well. So every time they will add some value into that. If you are not passing any ID, they will add automatically one value. So it start with it start with 1. Okay, now we'll add name, employee name varchar not null, company. Got it? Then DOB, then age. Okay, then salary. Let me add someone. Yeah, we'll change it. We will give this integer, no problem. Salary not null, age not null, DOB we'll have to DOB also not null, company not null. So we have added these not null into this, right? Now we'll add one more, that is email. For email we'll apply this unique and not null as well. So we have added employee ID, name, company, date of birth, age, salary and email. Now we have to add which constraint in this table. First is check, second is default one. So first we'll see that query via normal, then we'll go for this drag and drop, right? So this is for a student, right? Let me remove all these query. Now create table, our employee ID, int, or see, every time I am writing this query in small letter, you can use capital letter as well. In Java programming language is case sensitive, but in SQL you can use both uppercase and lowercase as well. See, now I'm writing in this capital letter. So create table name. So I'm giving table name as employee. All right, now employee ID type is integer, and we are adding this primary key constraint and this auto increment as well. Okay, now after employee ID, name, varchar, I will give sub size like 20. Okay, then email also varchar, I will give 20, and this email is unique, so we'll add this UUE, unique constraint here. Then we have company data type is also varchar, we'll give this 20 size. Now we have age will take at an integer, then we'll take salary will SALARY, integer again. As I said, we can use capital or small letter, anyone. Now in this query we have to use one is check constraint, other one is default one, right? So I am applying age. In age column I am applying this check constraint, right? So in this check we'll apply some condition. So what is our column name? Age. So I'm adding here age is greater than 20. Sorry, greater than symbol 20. See, in age column, what is the data type of age? Integer. So age column, I am applying this check constraint. Inside check, in parenthesis, I have added age greater than 20. It means if we are adding any value to this age column, they will validate whether your age is greater than 20 or not. If we'll enter less than 20 age for this age column, they will not allow, if we'll execute that query, they will give error. What error? They will give error like your age is not matching with this check constraint. In this check constraint, we have added like age greater than 20. It means every time you have to add that age, you have to enter age value that is greater than 20. So this is the use of this check constraint. In their definition we have added like what? It is used to specify some condition that must be validated in order to insert in data into the table. So it will validate whether that age is greater than 20 or not. If that age is not greater than 20, they will not add that value. They will give error that time. Got it? So this is the use of this age while inserting data into this employee table. We'll see that. So we have added this check constraint. Now in this company, I am adding this default. I am adding this default constraint. Same way, in default, we have to pass some default value. Like I have passed this ABC. It means if you are passing some null value, like if you are passing some empty value for this company, so they will add this default value. Got it? In Java, we have seen in abstraction, when we are discussing that abstraction concept, we have discussed interface and then implementation class. In implementation, we have discussed one topic, right? If that interface contains some default methods, so if there are no implementation of that method, they will execute the default one. The same way, if there is no value, like if you have written your insertion query, you haven't added any value for this company. At that time, what happened here? They will add this default ABC value to that particular company. To that particular row, company value will be this ABC. Got it? So in this employee table, I have added primary key. I have added default one. I have added this check constraint as well. And in email, I have added that unique. If you see this unique. Got it? Let me add the in name, let me add that not null as well. Unique and not null as well. Let me execute this query. See, it got executed. We got this green tick. It means that table created here. See, employee table created here. Got it? So there is one query, that is DESC. This is for description. If you want to know description of this table, right? So that description query will do what? They will describe all the detail associated with that table. So what is the query for that? DESC and your table name. So our table name is employee. Right? If you write this DESC and your table name, they will give you all the description for this employee table. Let me execute this query. If you see here, they have given all the field. They have given their type as well. They have given if that column accepts null or not. So this employee ID, we have added not null. We have added what? Primary key. So primary key will never accept null value. So that's why null means null, no. It means they will not accept null value. Name, we have added this not null. If you see, name null is no. The same for email. Email we have added not null. Company age salary. We haven't added any not null condition or any not null constraint here. That's why in this section, company accepts null, yes. Age accepts null, yes. Salary accepts null, yes. Now, if you see here, in key, so this employee ID, we have added one constraint. Which one? Primary key. See, they will added here PRI means primary key. Email, we have added one constraint, that is unique. They have added this UNI. Now we have this default section. So we have added some default value to this company column. If you see in company, what is the value of this default? ABC. So for company column, we have this default value ABC. Got it? Now in extra column, see, in employee ID we have added this auto increment. So they have added this auto increment here, right? So any doubt on this table creation and what is this description query? And in this description we got this field, their type, null, key, default and extra. Any doubt on this description? If you have any doubt, I will repeat again. Okay, I will take it as no. Okay. So this is the description of this employee table. If you want to know description of this college, simply DSC college. If you execute this query, see, they will show you description of college table. This one. Got it? Now we want to insert some value. Okay. Now we'll write insertion query. So insert into, this is the insertion query. Insert into your table name. So employee. Now values, yeah. So here I haven't passed any employee ID, right? Let me start with name. So we'll add only name, we'll add email as well, we'll not add company. We'll give age and then we'll give salary, right? First we'll give name, then we have to give email, okay. Now we'll give age 20, salary 100. So we have added only 4 fields here: name, email, age and salary. Name, email, age, salary, right? Now we'll execute this query. We got one error here. What error? Check constraint employee 1 is violated. Why violated? If you see here, in this age, we have added this check constraint, right? Inside this check constraint, we have added one condition like age is greater than 20. So whenever we are adding this value to this employee table, we need to give age that is greater than 20. But here we have passed this 20 here. It means they will come to this age and they will check, okay, that age is greater than 20 or not. If it is not greater than 20, they will give error. As I told you earlier, if we'll pass less than 20, so here we have to pass greater than 20 value, then it will accept that. So instead of 20, if we'll write 21, and then if I'll execute this query, see, we got this green tick. Insert into employee dash dash dash, one row affected. Got it? So this is the use of this check constraint. If you want to add any type of validation to that particular column, you can apply that condition while creating table. All right. So we have added one row. So if you see, total we have how many column? Total we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 column. We have added only 4 field here: name, email, age and salary. We haven't added employee ID. We haven't added company. As I told you earlier, in employee ID we have added two parameters. One is our primary key. Second one is auto increment. What is the use of this auto increment? Auto increment, every time they will add some value into that. So as we have added this integer data type here, it means they will start some value. They will automatically add some value from where? From 1. So it start with 1, and we have added this auto increment, so they will automatically increment that value by 1 every time. So every time they will add some unique value into this employee ID table. Got it? Now we need to see this data, right? So for fetching those data, which query we will use? If you want to get those data, whatever we have inserted in this employee table, which query we will use to fetch those data? I need that answer from your side. We have discussed this topic very, like, I have more than 10 times I have discussed that one. How to fetch those data if that data is stored in that table? Tell me. Which query we will use to get those data? Hello?
A show table.
Yeah, we need to, like, we have added these data, na? So one row added into this employee table. I need to get those data. Which query we will use to get those data? We have discussed that one already, na? If we are adding any value to that table for fetching those data, we have this select query. Simple. Select all from employee. So this is the query for fetching those data, right? We have discussed this one earlier many times. If I'll go to the previous file, we have the select star from college. If we'll go down back, we have this select star from college. See, so I'm talking about this one. So select star from employee. If I'll execute this one, see, they have
I
shown all the data that we
told
have stored here.
you said
Your voice is breaking. I think I didn't get your voice. Okay, no problem. So to fetch those data, we will use this select query. I'm. Are you able to hear me? Hello.
Yes.
Okay, okay.
yes, yes.
So to fetch those data, we will use this select query. But if you see in this data, we haven't added this one. We haven't added this ABC. Where it came? As in this company column. In this company column, we have added this default constraint, and inside that I have added ABC. So as I said earlier, if you not add any value to this company column, by default they will add this ABC into that. Got it? So any doubt on default constraint or check constraint? This one, why will use this check constraint and why will use this default constraint? I've shown you both default and check example here. If you earlier I have in first, when I have hit the query first time, at the place of age I have entered 20. So they will check here, they will validate here. So this is what this is, validation. While inserting whatever data we are inserting to that employee table, they are validating that data. That's it. So they are validating whether that age is greater than 20 or not. If that is greater than 20, they will allow to store the data in the table. If it is not, they will give you what? They will give you error. Okay, so this is the use of default and check constraint. Got it? Now we'll insert some more data into that. I'm again entering some less value, 16. Okay, I'm executing this query again. See, we got error. What error? Check constraint employee check is violated. It means whatever value we have added to this check constraint. So we have added check constraint on which column? Age column. So they are giving error for that one. So instead of the 16, if we'll add some value that is greater than 20. See, now we got that green tick. It means our data, like our query is correct and it executed successfully. Again, to fetch those data, we will use this select query. Select star from employee. It means they will fetch all the data from this employee table. See, 2, we haven't added 2 because we are using this auto increment. Every time this auto increment will add some unique value into that. We have added name, email, same. I haven't passed any company name, so they have added this default one. Then age, salary. Now we will give that company name as well. Okay, company, and here we'll pass some company name, RBS. Okay, let me add some value. Okay, execute this query. See, it got inserted. Now instead of ABC, here we got this RBS. Why? Because we have passed this value. So if we'll add that company name here, so they will not add this default one. If will not pass that company name into that query, they will add this default one. Simple. So this is that's all about the constraint part. So any doubt on that constraint?
No.
Hello. Yeah. Any doubt on this constraint part? Okay.
No.
So let me copy these and we'll paste it on that notepad. Okay. We'll add this one where we have used this primary key and all. Now let me copy. That is fine. Let me save this. Fifth. Now, so we have covered that constraint part. So we have seen all the CRUD operation like creation, read. So read, for read purpose we have in select query. Update we have already discussed. We have discussed deletion as well. Now we'll go for some alter commands. What is that alter? Let me show you. Okay, so SQL alter statement. What is this SQL alter statement? So with the help of this alter command, we can change the structure of the table. So with the help of alter, sorry, caps lock is on. With the help of alter statement, we can change the structure of a table, right? For example, if you want to, like, you have already created one table and you want to add some column into that. Okay, if you want to rename column name, right? Or if you want to modify column as well, right? And if you want to delete any column, right? Or if you want to rename table as well. So if you want to do any type of modification in that existing table, like if you want to add any column, if you want to rename any column, if you want to modify any column, like earlier we have created this column with integer data type. Now we want to change that integer to string. If you want to delete, like in that table we have total 10 column, you want to delete any 2 column from that table, right? So all these operation TABL, so all these operation you can perform it with alter, not statement, via alter command, you can say SQL alter command, right? So with the help of this alter command, we can add any column to that existing table, we can rename any column name to that existing table, we can modify any column, like we can modify their data type, their size, their constraint, their check constraint, their default constraint, anything. If you want to modify, you can do that via this alter command. Got it? What is the syntax for that? Simple alter and table, then we have to provide table name. So if our table name is employee, so employee. If you want to add some table, so add, then your column name. So for example, you want to add one mobile, and data type, their size, that's it. So if we'll execute this query, they will do what? They will automatically add one mobile column to that employee table. Let me copy this. Now I will execute this query. Not here. Yeah. So alter table employee. So we are trying to modify that data, that structure in which table? Employee table. And now we are adding what? Adding mobile column, their data type is this one and their size is this one, right? If I'll execute this query, see, it got executed. We got green tick. Select all from employee. Sorry. Select all from employee. Yeah. See here, earlier we didn't have this mobile column in this employee table. Now we got this mobile column here as well, right? So with the help of alter command, we can modify anything. Okay, we can modify anything to that particular column. Okay, so that's it for today. Tomorrow we'll see this alter command in depth. We'll discuss, like we'll see the query for like how to add column. We have seen already for this add column, like how to rename any column name, how to modify any column data type, their size, their constraint, to delete any column, to rename any table. Will these all these things, right? So that's it for today.